someone had asked in the comments, what do I do to overcome my social anxiety? I'm meditating. What now? And so I wanted to give some kind of quick, here's a bunch of ideas. So first one, learn the model of social anxiety. So if you learn the model, if you understand these are the components that create social anxiety, this is how it works, that's really empowering, because this can allow you to kind of step back, and when you're seeing it happen, you kind of know what's happening, and that cognitive distance can actually reduce your distress, and it gives you an idea of like where to target next. But it's helpful for reducing the shame and making you feel like a little more control. So it's that knowledge leads to power. So I think that's one piece. Another piece is understanding what the thought process is. So being aware and kind of skeptical of your thoughts, because people with social anxiety have a lot of beliefs that drive the anxiety. So starting to like identify the beliefs and then being skeptical of them, not trying to like get rid of them or dismiss them, but just starting to kind of question them. That also allows you to step back a little bit, but it can make the social world seem a lot safer. Like if you know that people are not actually hypervigilant, noticing you, if you know that your anxiety is not super noticeable, if you know that your flaws aren't particularly noticeable, if you know that people are more empathetic and kind than we expect, if you know that people aren't looking to gossip about you, if you know that you come across better than you realize, not like starting to get to know some of these biases in thinking, that's a really good intervention. Next one, learning where your attention is and learning where to move your attention. The more time you spend up in your head, probably the unhappier you are. The more time we spend worrying, the more anxious we get. The more time we spend ruminating, the more depressed we get. If we're in social situations and we focus our attention on ourselves, if we're imagining, oh, how am I coming across to other people, that will ratchet our anxiety up. So knowing where that flashlight of attention is being placed has a big impact. So learning where it is, checking in, and then choosing where to put it can make a big impact. Lowering performance demands. So the higher our performance demands, meaning the better we're telling ourselves we must perform, the better we need to come across. I need to be smart, I need to be funny, I need to seem totally cool and relaxed. The higher we're telling ourselves to perform, the more anxious we're going to get. So noticing, like, what are you demanding of yourself? And is there a way that you can bring that down? Most of us, if you've got social anxiety, we are assuming we've got to perform much better than we actually do in order to be acceptable. We don't need standing ovations. We don't need to be the best. And the other thing with social anxiety is we underestimate how well we just naturally do. So reducing those performance demands and being more confident or being more aware of how well we're doing. It's another one. Dropping the protections. We know from a lot of research that when we put up protections with social anxiety, anything we do that's defensive or trying to stop ourselves from being rejected, the protections, a lot of times they're off-putting to other people. They can make us feel like, I guess it's harder to connect because people can't see us. It's harder for us to be authentic and real. So it makes us harder to connect to. And all those protections, they're meant to try to make us less anxious. They actually make us more anxious. So finding ways of starting to slowly bring down those protections, being aware of what they are, doing less of them, trying to show more of ourselves, that's another way of getting over social anxiety. And also showing your interest in people, showing your curiosity, being kinder. People respond really well to being heard, to being seen, to being complimented. People like attention, and they like you showing that you like them. So being warm, being curious. In doing so, people tend to reciprocate that. And if you've got social anxiety, there's a good chance that you are cutting that off out of fear of it going badly. But we know from research that, again, if you're socially anxious, you're probably going to overestimate like how badly it will go and underestimate how much people really appreciate that stuff. So be curious, show more interest. Okay, and last one, exposure. So the exposure principle, this is one of the strongest ways of overcoming social anxiety, is you face the fear instead of backing away from it. And it doesn't all have to be at once, but if we face things we're afraid of, over time, we do it enough, the fear starts to come down. If we keep backing away and keep protecting, it keeps us anxious. It's why it doesn't just naturally go away on its own. So making small steps forward, showing who we are, being unprotected, taking risks, being pro-social where we're normally not. And the more we do that, without terrible things happening, our anxiety starts to come down. Hi everyone, thanks for watching the video. If you have any other questions about anything to do with social anxiety, just put it in a comment below and I'll try to do future videos on this. Also, my book is out now, my book on social anxiety. It's called Dating Without Fear, Overcome Social Anxiety and Connect. It brings together all the information I've acquired over the last 20 years as far as treating social anxiety, both personally and as a psychologist treating others. It's available in the link below, so please go check it out, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.